This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by the Ladder Research Observatory team. The views and events expressed here could be completely fictional or expressed in a more or less emotional way than the events that actually took place, and are not necessarily the views of anyone. However, the events and suggestions that appear in this video are not to be taken lightly. You should only partake in the watching of this video if you have successfully drawn a ladder, proving to the Ladder Research Observatory that you've been rigorously initiated into the concept of ladders and can accurately identify their form. The Ladder Research Observatory is not responsible for your actions and pursuits surrounding the collection of ladders. In the experimental and homebuilt aircraft community, I had uploaded my drawings of 3 engines. A man with a top hat called Daniel Taylor told me that I would only be able to sell CAD drawings. I told him I didn't know what CAD drawings were, and that this was art, and that he should purchase it in my pursuit of an engine. Then Todd Courier inquired about my Rotax engine drawing and Wright Brothers engine drawing. I responded, but never ever heard from Todd Courier again. I think about Todd quite a lot. I wonder what had happened to him. I wonder why he didn't reply. I wonder where he is. But I must move on. After the engine, the wings were the next part to make. I sent countless emails, called countless foundries, but much to my disappointment, I never did receive any replies. But then I did receive a reply from a place in Helden called Bronze Foundry Welton. They told me if I could be there at 9 AM tomorrow morning, I can discuss my aircraft parts. Weldon was a difficult place to get to. It involved a train, and then a bus, and then another bus, and finally a 30-minute walk. On arrival, I was greeted by Tom. He showed me the work they carried out, which revolved around repairing bronze statues of women's legs and bronze sculptures of dragonflies mating, where their legs had also been stolen. I didn't understand why the other community liked to steal legs. I only liked stealing ladders. I mean collecting ladders. He gave me a bottled water, and we discussed my part. I started to feel hopeful. He taught me how to design the model part better. He told me to make the ends thicker for tapping, to reduce the height, to put a draft angle on it, all to help the part be removed from the mold. But when I mentioned the caveat that it had to be made from ladders, they didn't understand. I wasn't going to give in and tell them why, but they just insisted on me using an aluminium alloy, A380. When I told him that ladders get you high and planes get you higher, his face was blank. I left, and the following days I received an email. 6,000 euros. 6,000 euros for 20 aluminium air wing profiles? But his refusal to use ladders because they were full of impurities made me realize it was a pointless endeavor anyway. If I couldn't cast, I would have no project. I started thinking about making my own furnace. But the project wasn't about making my own furnace. It was about making my own airplane. It was about collecting and melting ladders. So I made my own community instead. I realized that before I can cast, I needed material. I need ladders. I still wasn't part of Daniel Dalby's community, the Association for the Promotion of Flying Ladders. So I built my own. And I called it the Ladder Research Observatory. As long as you could draw a ladder, you could be part of it. Proof of drawing and supplying a t-shirt allowed you to join. The drawing proved that you could identify a ladder, and therefore were able to help me collect them. I made stickers too, and they were stuck to everything in Eindhoven by my team. Once some people started wearing the t-shirts, everyone wanted one. We were all collection team members. I'm a collection team member. bought a furnace and 200 kilograms of sand. Printing t-shirts was slowing me down, and there was much more demand than I could keep up with. So I started turning collection team members into screen print technicians to help. Concurrently, I started making the mold for the windscreen, or as I would like to call it, the fairing. I had the opportunity to blow glass, and I wanted it to resemble the iMac G3 in homage to James Donahue and his yellow fiberglass shark bicycle. When I showed the experimental home-built aircraft group my windscreen, Eric Gregory told me that it was going to provide illusions when looking through. I thought at 5,000 feet, this could be interesting. Fergie Duran told me that it was like a funhouse mirror. How it became a mirror, I don't know. It was yellow. They also gave me a list of reasons as to why it wouldn't be suitable and encouraged me to use polycarbonate. And then the final comment from Tom Napton was, it looked like a lovely fruit bowl. When the furnace arrived, I attached the gas tank to it, turned it on and lit it. When lighting it, it sounded like a helicopter was taking off. Flashes of blue were coming out, and it was stressing me out so much that I had to stop. I couldn't figure it out, so it was left to sit for another day. The next day, I nervously approached the ferocious beast again, and this time gave it more PSI on the regulator. Still, the helicopter started. I started to question making a plane. The sound of this furnace was giving me other ideas. When I turned up the regulator and lit the match, there was no problem. I was ready. Clothed from top to toe in safety gear, I started to melt the ladders. Piece by piece, in they went, and what came out was molten aluminium. This furnace gobbled the ladders, and the sand molds I'd created had allowed me to produce the wing struts. 8 were made, but I needed more ladders. I needed more time. As I was designing from observations, I had to estimate the design of the airplane wing structures from the side of the airfield. In pad physical design, the more material left on the part, the stronger it is. But that's not what the experimental and home-built aircraft community thought. Dennis Halovec said it looked like a barbecue grill. Then their illusion of me shattered. Comments started appearing. This is a wind-up. I had seen rubber airplane bands before and assured them that what I was building wasn't a rubber airplane band. And then in droves, they had cottoned on. It was an art installation. They investigated me and found out that I had previously studied at the Glasgow School of Art. They also found a naive post from earlier on in the year asking some questions about my MA thesis. If they thought I was silly, I was going to act like a kid. I started making giant mechanical parts, like the ones I played with as a child. The aim is to learn by making, but if they believe it's an art installation, they'll stop providing me with their rich expertise. What was I to do? Do I continue posting or break it to them and tell them that the project in its entirety? Maybe for their mental health, I should tell them. Some are seriously concerned. I've been receiving messages. If you have any ladders, please donate them. A token will be given in exchange. Please collect your t-shirt on the way out. You are officially part of the Ladder Research Observatory.